And a government spokesperson says China's economy is growing steadily with fast growth in online retailing. The service industry remains the main driver of economic growth. And for more insight into China's latest economic figures, we're joined in the studio by Professor Liu Baocheng from the University of International Business and Economics. Professor, so how do you make the number 6.7? It's growth at 6.7%. It's the growth rate for the first quarter and the second quarter, also for the first half of this year of China's GDP. Is it hard-earned, or more importantly, would it be an indicator for the second half of this year's economic growth?
Oh, this is pretty reasonable. Last year we achieved total on the average of 6.9. So we almost reached the target of 7% growth, and 6.5 is really having no doubt this year. So for the first quarter and second quarter, we consistently achieved 6.7, and we predict that the third quarter is going to be more robust, because that's a cyclical pattern for every year, and all the economic resources are being accelerated to combine for a better performance. So the Chinese agriculture is not really pulling the feet, despite the fact many would worry that all the flood issue, etc., because vegetables and they can easily be restored to catch up with the performance. And now the liquidity is really, to me, is a worrisome issue, because we see that there is an increase in the debt of the government and companies, particularly the state-owned firms, and also the denied access by private firms explains why the private is not really moving ahead on an ideal pace. So there is a lot of mixed picture, but generally we still see that this is a new normal situation, and we have confidence in the steady growth. And now the government commitment to bring up the per capita GDP by 2020 to double. I think there is really not much suspended thoughts over this one. So the bubble or hard landing are really groundless.
Well, Professor, we know that last month the National Bureau of Statistics adopted a brand new method of measuring China's GDP, and it's a major change, because the earlier method was adopted in 1952 and had been in use since. So how will this affect China's GDP reading?
Well, I think for the first reason, because there is also innovation internationally, particularly by the UN, to adopt the SNA standard to reflect the country's contribution and awareness over the research and development. And so because that really is the indicator, not only contributing to the GDP per se, but also to the quality of the GDP through innovation and added value. And China is trying to converge onto a sort of international standard. Of course, the risk is that, well, whether you're going to have comparability, to the previous statistics. But fortunately, I think Chinese statisticians, they have done a good job to integrate this all along to the beginning of the 50s, so that this data can still be comparable. So I think for China, when we are shifting more from a sort of resource-driven and efficiency-driven economy more onto a sort of innovation-driven economy, we do need this figure to, number one, to remind the policymakers and decision makers in the business circle that how innovative are your companies, and also that we really wanted to see how the quality of the GDP is going to be measured more precisely. So with the inclusion of these new metrics. As to the contribution to GDP so far, it is really marginal, but it is an important precursor as where we are moving forward with the structural reform.
Thank you very much, Professor Liu Baocheng from the University of International Business and Economics.